The world pays tribute to Alex Trebek. We're delving into his iconic, nearly four-decade run as the host of Jeopardy and the legendary legacy he's leaving behind.
Joining us tonight on NewsNation is Bob Madden, former president at CBS Syndication and COO of King World Productions. Later, he was the executive in charge of Jeopardy at Sony. Mr. Madden, thank you so much for joining us.
Good evening, Aaron and Nicole.
All right, first question for you. What have we lost in losing Alex Trebek?
Oh, we've lost so much. It's just such a sad day for all the Jeopardy family. Aaron, I can't describe what we lost. We lost a real icon.
Well, can you talk to us about, he chose to share his diagnosis with the public, with his audience. Do you know some of his reasoning behind that?
Yes, he didn't want to be part of the National Enquirer. He didn't want to be part of those magazines you see in the grocery store putting out false stories. So he wanted to get the narrative out himself, Nicole, so he could tell his audience, his fans, exactly what was happening, what the truth was. And he was very brave about that.
Mr. Madden, you knew Alex. Was he exactly who he appeared to be to all of us who thought we were smart enough to be on the game show that he hosted?
Aaron, the funny thing about him, Alex was exactly as you saw him on air. There were things about him you might not have known. For example, he was a tremendous handyman around the house. I think this year he was doing his wife's bathroom all over. I mean, he's doing electrical, plumbing, all of that. He showed up in his truck, in his T-shirt. You saw him in the tailored suits, of course. But as far as an individual goes, it was exactly as he was on there. He was intelligent, he was witty, he was curious, he was funny. He's a good friend. And you know what? He was just a really nice guy. That's the real story. And a great family man, too, by the way.
Well, Mr. Madden, you name all of those wonderful characteristics. We know that that is part of what made Jeopardy so successful, but it had nearly 4 decades. I mean, he hosted for nearly 4 decades. Just talk about the impact of that. I mean, it's such a part of just the American culture.
Okay, so here's the impact, Nicole. There is not a show on the air, save for Wheel of Fortune, which is its companion show, that is appointment television. People do not tape Wheel and Jeopardy. They watch it at dinner time. Jeopardy is a funny show. It's almost a radio show. You can be doing other things, eating around the house without watching the show. You can hear the show. You can hear Alex's voice. You can hear the think music. You can hear Johnny Gilbert of the Clue Crew. And that took 37 years. And there are very few shows that have been in the air for 37 years.
Game shows come and go. We have seen it throughout the years. But I have a feeling that I know the answer to this question. Was Jeopardy made by Alex Trebek, and we wanted to watch because of his knowledge, his wittiness, and the way he made us feel great about ourselves and smarter than we were?
Aaron, that is a really difficult show to do, but he did it with such ease that you always felt comfortable. You felt comfortable in that setting. And the answer is, of course, without Alex Trebek, Jeopardy would have come and gone probably like many other shows come and go. But, Alex just became such a part of Americana, such a part of your family. Generations, people loved him. You see the tributes pouring in. I tell you, it was an honor that I've known him for 30 years. It really was.
And Mr. Madden, I know that you knew him, as you said, for 30 years, and you see these tributes pouring in. Are you at all surprised by just how people are reacting? People are really feeling this loss.
I watched it for the last year and a half, Nicole, so it doesn't surprise me. I don't know anyone that doesn't like Alex Trebek. I mean, everybody just gravitated toward him. So no, it doesn't surprise me. They're just so sad. I'll tell you a funny thing. Jeopardy, the last 25 years has had the same people, the same staff, the same production crew. I don't think anyone's ever left that crew. Harry Friedman was the producer for 25 years. He finally retired in May. But almost everybody that's in that show behind the scenes has been there for 25 years. We never hired a writer. The same writers are there for 25 years. And that was because Alex was such a great father figure who brought everybody together.
Wow, and anybody who's worked in the entertainment industry and television knows that. I mean, keeping people there for that long, that is really saying a lot. Well, Mr. Bob Madden, former president at CBS Syndication, COO of King World Productions, we thank you so much for taking time to talk to us tonight.
And thank you for honoring Alex. We appreciate that.